Grab your popcorn, kick back and relax, because it's time for some more Karnage. So, in today's video, we're going to be looking at a base called Minotaur. So, this is the statues, 138%, 254% GBE, all Zookas with brick. So let's see how this guy decides he wants to take out Minotaur. So, you can see that there's a heap of mines here, so that's going to be where we park. So a barrage takes it out. 987% is the health on this core, so that would make it a little bit over 2 million. I think like 2 million, maybe 80,000, something thereabouts. That would actually, no, it would probably make it 2.1, I think. Yeah, I think 2.1 million. Anyway, doing a flag landing, letting them group up. As they group up, the next flare is going to be the tile above this sniper and to the right. So it's like one up, one right. So a tile up to and to the right of that sniper. So it's sort of like the tile in line with like beside it. What this is going to do is it's going to create a walking path where they walk beside to the right side of this cannon rather than to the left, without any unnecessary grouping. Half times, so we can see the next flare, which is going to be up here. Press play. So you will see the press in. There we go. So that is as the first Zookas are walking into the very first tile of this sniper. So you'll see if I zoom out here, we'll half times it. So this flare is going to land right as our very first Zookas are about to approach that flare. So that has created a nice tight walking path down the beach. One of the reasons why we make a mid checkpoint instead of just flaring right up the top is mostly because we want to let our Zookas catch up to brick. We don't want brick to get too far ahead, because otherwise the smokes will become so late that our Zookas are going to start peaking and lose the delay for us, which is obviously not what we want. So we will just we'll keep this in half times. Actually, we'll keep it in 1 times just until we get our troop sort of there. Now we'll keep it at half times. So you'll see as our Zookas approach the core, you'll see the flare is placed. They do spread out a little bit, but in my opinion, this was actually to his advantage. So you see the flare with the core was just pressed. So our Zookas have already got there and are already starting to spread out. And you'll see what happens, like, you'll see like the spread at the end. And you'll see why I say that's beneficial towards the end. So the shock pattern here, because you'll see we're going to start pressing the shocks in just a moment, is on the flamethrower, then the mortars, and then the rockets. So this shock blaster is slightly out of range of our kill spot. This machine gun's out of range. The shock launchers are out of range. So we don't need to deal with those, which is really good. So this I'll go back and maybe look at the exact flare location on that flare. Even though I did show the press, I didn't explain the exact tile. So we'll keep viewing, see if we can see the presses on the screen. There we go. So we just seen the flamethrower one press just now. So that is, I'm going to say 9 o'clock. Because even though the smoke timer on the right is ever so slightly above 9, it was 9. So the next one will be the mortars, as we just seen. Now we'll see the rockets pressed, and pressed. There we go. So I will 1 times now just so you guys can see it. The delay played a big role in that, allowing these rockets to be done later. Now you can see these flamethrowers are going to start taking out Zookas. If they grouped up more, they wouldn't have got those extra shots off at the end. They would have all been decimated all at once. So allowing them to spread out a little bit more played into his favour. So how much did he do on that? I'm going to say roughly about 1.8 million, I would say, if I was taking a guess. It looks like about 1.8, in my opinion. So, that was a really crazy attack. Considering this had like 2.1 million on it, the amount he got done was ridiculous. So the critters also on the drop was really just so that smoke could be delayed a little bit, and we wouldn't have to drop 2 smokes as opposed to 1. Because had we not dropped the critter box, we would have had to drop 2 smokes to keep them both safe. But yeah, so you can see where they're grouping up here. The Zookas haven't really got there. I'd say about half of the pack has sort of reached the flag location. So that's when we're timing that flare up. So half times, and it'll be about 1 or 2 seconds when that's pressed. Bam. So I'd say that's about the middle, but it looks like it was favoring the down below the mortar ever so slightly, in my opinion. But that was pretty much close to perfect, being the middle. It looked like it was a little further down, in my opinion, but yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this attack. This has been Minotaur. I know this isn't the hardest base, but I wanted to include it anyway. Some people do get intimidated because they don't know the exact path, they don't know the exact flare locations to sort of limit the shocks like that, because some people would get scared that the shock launchers would get them, or the machine guns would get them, or that shock blaster up the top would have got them. So this guy obviously has done this attack many times and knows that this stuff is out of range. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, smack the thumbs up button, tell me what you thought in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.